Hello and welcome to York Observatory's monthly TeleTube broadcast. This is an online astronomy and astrophysics program written and presented by the students, faculty, alumni, and friends of York University. Just as a reminder to everybody, we are broadcasting live from the Allan I Carswell Observatory located at York University in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. This particular TeleTube broadcast happens at the last Friday or final Friday of every month usually, but we're doing a special one today. That's right, it's Wednesday, the 18th of December, and we're doing a special fundraiser, our Fun-d-tastic astronomy broadcast for our Allan I Carswell Observatory winter fundraiser from 2024, the last of 2024, in fact. We would like to just go ahead and inform you at the start of this broadcast that the 2025 Astronomer in Residence program will be opening at the end of January in 2025. So if you have been watching out for that collaboration program with the Observatory and Killarney Provincial Park, keep an eye on the website to learn more about the program requirements and application process. You can always see our site yorku.ca/science/observatory, and for the Astronomer in Residence /AIR, AIR. Good evening, everyone. It is wonderful to be here tonight. We have a very special show, and we've got a whole slew of crew lined up this evening to call all kinds of fun games and to show you some really fun stuff out at the observatory. But before we get started with our main show, I would like to go ahead and do our actual land acknowledgement. And this is that the observatory at York campus is in Toronto, and we would like to welcome you to our show and acknowledge that traditional land that our telescope is on. The observatory acknowledges its presence on the traditional territory of many Indigenous nations. The area known as Tkaronto has been caretaken by the Anishinaabe Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Huron-Wendat, and the Métis. It is now home to many Indigenous people, and we acknowledge the current treaty holders, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Our stargazing and astronomical efforts join the long history and current practices for this land. The observatory looks forward to continuing to learn and revitalize our knowledge in this area. Now, tonight, as I mentioned before, we do have a little bit of a special broadcast. We have a crew on campus in the telescope right now, so truly live. Sana, Cam, Zach, and Maheen will be taking us through one of the games this evening. I'm Dr. Hyde, and I will be kind of your MC. And we have a panel which I will be giving full introductions to shortly. But we have a wonderful panel of not one, not two, but actually 6 guests joining us. 6 astronomers coming in, astronomy fans, I should say, all for tonight's show. So before we get started, a little bit about why we're doing this. Why are we running a spontaneous episode in the middle of December on a Wednesday and calling it a fundraiser episode? Well, did you know that the largest telescope on any Canadian campus is here at York University? The Allan I Carswell fundraiser is going through this year of 2024 into January 5th of 2025. The fundraiser supports repairs, research, and of course, our free public student observing nights. We have a bunch of special events that we've done this year, and including this one. We also have class observing for students at York, as well as high school students and all kinds of great stuff. So we'll be able to run more of those exciting free events for your local high schools, grade schools, university students. And of course, we have amazing observatory swag as well. So in an exciting first for the observatory, this particular fundraiser is actually online, and we have a whole slew of wonderful prizes. So you can go on and enter not one, but two, 3 raffles. We have a raffle for a free observatory tour for yourself and 5 of your friends, private tour, very cool. We also have a raffle for a free supported observing run. That's right, the Allan I Carswell Observatory team will help you get your data. We'll actually help you plan your observing as long as you've picked something that's possible to observe, and we'll be able to walk away with your data at the end of the night. The final raffle is a very special one. It's a one-time only swag raffle, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. So the observatory observatory is largely run by volunteers and donations, with the first goal, which is 5,000 Canadian dollars. We'll be looking to continue free tours until April, as well as do a couple small goals along the way. There are some big goals for later on, maybe next year. But we have some small repairs that can be done, and of course, some extra shelving that can be put up out at the Arboretum parking garage. If you want to see the campaign, it's all online on that same website I've been talking about quite a bit actually in this introduction, yorku.ca/science/observatory, and you can either click on the fundraiser or go to AICO fundraiser after that. All the online donations are tax deductible, which is very good to know this time of year. So if you know anyone who does taxes, make sure to tell them. We have all of our observatory store items for sale as well. So if you want to support the observatory with fashion, that's also possible. And you can buy in person or online at the York U Lanes bookstore, because the bookstore is now carrying almost all of the observatory swag. So the fundraising events, our first goal is to get to 5,000 Canadian dollars. And tonight we will be doing a couple little reminders because we're just so tantalizingly close to that goal. Now, on our way through this evening, I would just like to point out that if it does happen to be clear where you are in Toronto, I suppose, well, Toronto probably not, maybe just outside of Toronto, there might be a couple little clear spots. But you do have a wonderful show from several planets tonight, and the next few nights we're getting good views from Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars, actually. So Mars is becoming more and more prominent. In addition to things you can see with your naked eye, we also have lovely planets like Uranus out there, which you'll need binoculars for. So one thing I always I like to caution people about is, while bright planets and bright stars can be seen sometimes even from the city, dimmer stars often suffer from light pollution. So as always, if you're trying to go ahead and view some of these fainter objects, try to make your way to a park or a darker sky site. So we have lots of wonderful things to see out there. And if you are out after 7 p.m., it is a little bit chilly, but you do get to see Orion rising high in the sky. And of course, this makes it really properly wintry. So thanks for joining me for the little tiny introduction here. Now to get on to the really, really good stuff. So here's the part where we get into the full episode. So welcome to our brave panel of astronomy players. We have 6 guests, so I'm going to do very short introductions and they'll have to forgive me. So I'm going to invite all of our guests to turn on their cameras and their microphones, and to just go ahead and say hello after their introduction so we can get through and see everyone. So first off, in no particular order, we have Dr. John Moores, who's an associate professor over at York University. He's a member of the Royal Society of Canada's College of New Scholars and a recipient of the Canadian Aeronautics Space Institute Mercurdi Award. He's been all over our programming before, so I'm sure you've seen him on York Universe and maybe even on this channel in the past. And it's great to have him back tonight. So hi, Dr. John.
Hello there.
Hey. All right, thanks for joining us. We'll call you player number 1 for now.
Very good.
So our second spot is Professor Mary-Helen Armour, who is a faculty at York University, and you might have seen her around before. She was actually in the Astronomer in Residence program that I mentioned in the introduction. She's teaches a number of courses over in the natural sciences, and her background is in both astronomy and earth sciences, as you might be able to guess from her honorary title, a rock doc. So Mary, it's great to have you here. Feel free to just go ahead and say hi.
Hi, I can't seem to turn my camera on, but it says the host has blocked me, but I am here.
Oh, all right, let's fix that for you. Let me fix your camera, and I'm going to request you to start your video.
There we go.
Perfect. All right, thank you very much. Now, third up on our wonderful panel, we have Jesse Rogerson. So Professor Jesse Rogerson also has been around the observatory before. Now, he was, I think, one of our very first guest speakers on this channel. He's an assistant professor over at the Division of Natural Sciences at York University. I hope that's still accurate. And he actually has research focusing all the way back on quasars, But even more significant to the episode today, and we'll talk about this in just a second, he's also a very well-renowned author with Dr. John Moores. So Jesse, feel free to just say hi real quick.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me.
Excellent. All right, moving on to our wonderful panel, we have next up Kirsten Vanstone. Kirsten has had more than 25 years of experience working with STEM, and I can't believe this is the first time we've got her on video. I think it is. She's done amazing stuff over at Ontario Science Centre, and she's been an educator at Royal Ontario Museum, the California Academy of Sciences. She's done so many things, and she actually grew up here in Toronto as well. So Kristen, feel free to come on and say hi.
Hello, nice to be here. Finally.
Great. I know, great to finally have you. So next up, we have one that I'm sure everyone will remember. We were able to kidnap Paul Delaney. That's right, Professor Paul Delaney, kidnapped away from a relaxing, enjoyable retirement to come onto this program and be interrogated by quiz questions and games from astronomy. If you don't know Professor Paul, well, he was born in South Australia and basically a tropical paradise, and went to other places in tropical paradise before coming to Canada and in 1978, I believe. And he is the previous director of the Allan I Carswell Observatory, and maybe the only person who gets quite as excited about the telescopes as me. But come on and say hi, Paul, if you're able to.
Working on it. There we go. Yes, I get as excited about the observatory as you do, Elena. Nice to be here with such a panel of luminaries. So look forward to the evening.
Excellent. All right. And last but certainly not least, we have Julie Tome, who has been on this show a few times and has York Universe fame, the person without whom it would have never turned into a podcast. She has been on the Astronomer in Residence program, as well as doing all kinds of wonderful things at the observatory throughout, I suppose, time and space. She is also a museum educator and has done all kinds of wonderful stuff at science centers, museums, and outreach activities. And she has a very, very nice blog up this year on the Astronomer in Residence, as well as Mary-Helen. So make sure to check both of those out. Julie, come on and say hi. All right, are you able to unmute?
Hello?
Oh, there you are. Okay. Audio test.
We're getting all the gremlins out now.
Yes, we are. I sincerely hope so. All right, so hopefully the gremlins have all disappeared. And this is our wonderful panel of players. So we have a bunch of different stuff planned for today. As you might be able to tell, I have actually assigned colors randomly to each player as a way of keeping track. So what we're going to do today is play some fun games. But before we get too far along, I want to actually just give an extra shout out to John Moores and Jesse Rogerson, who are joining us today not only as players, but also as observatory donors. They are well, I suppose it should say renowned authors, actually, having recently authored the Daydreaming in the Solar System book, which is really, truly excellent. It has wonderful reviews online, so you don't have to believe me, but they've donated a copy to the Super Swag raffle. So if you entered to win the Super Swag raffle, you could win a copy of this brand new, super cool Daydreaming in the Solar System book, as well as all of the cool observatory swag, the zippable tote bag, the coffee cup, the poster, the calendar. You could win it all. It's over 100 Canadian dollars in value. And they've actually donated a copy of this book to the observatory for the raffle. So I was wondering if Jesse and John, do you want to just maybe say a word or two about your wonderful new book?
Oh, where to start? Well, I just want to say thank you for that. It's a really fun book. It has a different take on exploring the solar system. So if you're interested in learning about the solar system, it's not just about being told about the solar system, it's about experiencing the solar system. John?
I think you've got it exactly right there, Jesse. And what we try to do is to, make it so that you can imagine yourself in a number of different places on different planets and different environments. And then we tell you the science that makes that that possible.
Wonderful. And this is, of course, the perfect thing to give away during this particular show, because we are going to be imagining all kinds of interesting astronomy games. And we're going to be testing the knowledge and the imagination of all of our players this particular evening. Thank you both for coming on and joining the panel. The first challenge we have is actually a really fun one. And this is where we are truly live and in person. So I'm going to go ahead and hope that the gremlins have all left the building. Our observatory crew is right now in place to operate the treasure hunt challenge. So you might know that the observatory does have a special treasure hunt hidden throughout it that you can complete if you are in person on tours. If you complete all the objects, generally you win a glow stick. I don't have any glow sticks for you folks, but we've actually managed to make a version of the treasure hunt online. So you're going to get a clue from our amazing observatory crew. So I'm just going to ask our crew to give me a sign if they are ready with the clue number 1. So let's just see if we can pull up clue number 1 here. All right, looks like we are. Okay, so clue number 1. This is clue coming in. Are you able to get the audio? So we'll just see if the audio hint can come through. So the goal is to see if you can guess, what is it? What does it do? And the audio hint coming in now, I hope. If we can get the sound to come through. Yes. Okay, listen.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's gotta be the dome rotating.
All right, now everybody, we're gonna do it one more time.
Heard that to all hours of the morning.
See if we can get the audio through one more time. Okay, this is the second audio clue. Can you hear it? The audio hint coming in now might seem shocking if you know how. So what is it? What does it do?
Obviously, it is the train that goes around the inside of the dome that carries all the emails to all the people.
You're close. There are tracks.
See?
There are tracks. Paul, I think you had a very good guess. The first clue, is our crew able to do the first clue one more time? The first audio clue? Yes, that one. Who recognizes that?
The dome's the lower half, what's the thing called that you pull it down? And you unlock.
You don't have that anymore. It's
dropout.
been replaced.
The dropout.
No.
There's no dropout anymore. Oh my
No.
god.
There's no string anymore. The string's been replaced. It's so you're close. So we are looking at something that you can probably recognize. It is as Paul said, the dome. So you've got it. What does it do? The loud click, that is the emergency
circuit
power
breaker.
kill switch. So
It didn't have one of those when I worked there.
Yeah,
that's right. We didn't kill anything, did we, Julie?
That's actually something I'm hoping to continue. So our crew is going to go ahead and start setting up the second clue in the treasure hunt. While they do that, this panel has a challenge. What is the most complex thing you could possibly astronomically do with this dome? And I'll actually go ahead and ask Dr. John.
What would you like to know?
That's the question. What is the most complex thing you could possibly astronomically do with that dome we showed you?
Jesse's got a good suggestion there about taking a look at Alpha Centauri.
Alpha Centauri is a real challenge because that is
Southern Hemisphere.
actually in the wrong hemisphere. So that would be an extra challenge. Would anyone
I
else
think
like
with
to?
a conveniently positioned series of mirrors, it can be done. In orbit around the Earth. You know, hear me
Yeah,
out.
yeah, we'll work something out on that. I think I like this idea. So we will be calling on people sort of in order if we need extra guesses. All right. So the first treasure item has been found. The dome has been obtained. Now, once we have a dome, we do need something else. So observatory crew is in position. Go ahead and start sharing the second observatory item. So this is also something that you will find in the Allan I Carswell Observatory. This is one that I believe you have all seen before.
A white
Now,
wall.
we're doing the audio clue now, so try to
Okay.
listen. Okay, guys, we'll send it through again. It's a little faint.
Oh, that's yeah.
I
You
can't
know
hear
it?
anything, but
Do you know
it
it?
looks like clouds to me. Just what you would see on a typical night.
It is a little faint, but it's just coming through on the audio. Maybe one more time. Okay,
Well, my
so
first thought was it was eating a donut, but I don't think that's it. I think it's more likely the movement of the 60-centimeter
Yes,
telescope.
it's the slewing of the 60.
Yeah. Grinding your molars might cause issues dental, but these big teeth can drive astronomers mental. Oh, it is in fact the 60-centimeter. And not just one of the drives, it's the declination drive, because it's the only one that's loud enough to come across. Excellent. Thanks to our wonderful crew for sharing that. We've got a lovely picture of the 60 coming up now. There we go. Very, very nice. All right. So our crew has helped it along,
Excellent.
and we found it. What does it do? Now you've answered what it is, but I actually haven't heard a really good explanation for what does it do.
It looks up.
It's a very high-powered laser.
That's wrong, but awesome.
That's why we let him go. I mean, really.
You can use it to look at what the residents of Bethune are doing.
Could
you can
though?
get that low.
No,
you can.
I've never done it. We just always joked about it.
Do you see what's going off in the top floors of the KNF Tower?
That might be a better chance at actually getting to aim it. I think there's some other stuff in our way though.
But seriously, it collects terrific data for variable stars.
Yes. And without it, we could not point to any targets. So, oh, Mary-Helen, do you want to go ahead and say what one of your guesses was earlier? I saw that in chat. It's actually excellent.
Well, in listening to it grind away, the thought came to mind of an elephant with heartburn, but I realized you wouldn't find that in the observatory.
I don't know. That thing kind of looks like an elephant.
In my head.
That's a very good description of how it sounds like. It does sound like maybe not the happiest elephant. Excellent. All right, so we have a fourth clue. Our crew, are you ready to start sharing the fourth clue object? Okay. Is this the fourth clue or the fifth clue?
We're at 3.
Oh, 3. We're at 3. Yes, I can't count anymore. Thank you. We have only done 2. All right. Oh, right. This is actually a hard one. Okay, can we get the audio clue for this?
Oh, it's clearly one of
Yes.
those old school printers that like goes. Yeah, that's
Dot matrix printer.
That's it. Dot matrix printer.
It's not a dot matrix printer. It is a mechanical thing in the observatory. And that sound that you heard is very, very characteristic. So it is a bit faint. Can we get the audio clue repeated?
It's the new electronic door opening mechanism, right? You were telling me you were going to install it to keep me out. I understand.
Well, we have been working on electronic doors for actually before I got here, so they still haven't been installed. The electronic door upgrade is still an empty box next to the purely mechanical key. So don't have to worry, Paul. Your keys will still work.
Can't keep Paul out.
I wouldn't even
He
try.
He would always find a way.
All right. Does anyone want to take a guess what it might be? What do you think it might be?
I can, but I'm interested in.
Yeah, I think.
Some sort of
I
coordinate
think
system
maybe
for the
maybe
size of-
Julie should guess. That's what we should. It's a pure guess.
Well, it would have to be a pure guess because I couldn't hear the audio.
Oh no. We'll catch it
Do
on
you
the
still
replay.
have that? Do you still have that spectrograph
That's what I was
display?
gonna say.
I do. That's a really good guess. It's not the spectrograph. But it is you're super close. Now we're gonna try. Let's try one more time with the audio just to see if it comes through from the crew.
BVRI.
I'm getting it. All right. I think Jesse gets to guess next.
Yeah, Julie.
Yeah.
Julie led me there. With the yeah, I think it's the filter wheel. Yeah.
Yes, you've got it. It is in fact trucking along one window at a time. This handy device helps us keep track of light's kind.
I don't understand the clue, the visual clue though, like diagonal size, diagonal orientation, and the parallactic angle.
Well, let's see if we can get our crew to expand that window a little bit. We can expand the window and show you what the visual clue was. If we can get it up. Let's see if there we go, back on there. So that is the filter selection window.
Nice.
So, and this is actually an older control software that we've moved back to after, I don't know how many years on SkyX and things. All right, so, excellent. So we have now, what is the most complex thing we could possibly do with this filter wheel? The most ridiculous complex thing that you could possibly think of to do. Now, filter wheels, we'll just go ahead and say this is a Johnson Cousins filter wheel. So it has several bands and neutral density filters. So if anyone would like to take a guess, what would be the most complex astronomical thing that you could do with this filter wheel?
It's an ultimate game on the moon. I mean, like a frisbee.
Ultimate frisbee on the moon. So you want to take the filters out of the...
Yeah. That's complicated and it's astronomical.
That is extremely astronomical and extremely complicated. That is an excellent
If it's cold,
answer.
I won't touch it because I broke one of them once.
Oops.
Well, if they're for ultimate frisbee.
Not commenting.
Astronomical observatory trauma from decades ago.
I remember everything.
I remember using broom handles to get the dome moving again on the advice of Paul one night at 2 a.m. because our observing group couldn't figure out how to close the dome.
So his advice was, have you tried hitting it with a broom?
Remember that too.
There was something, I don't remember what the exact instructions were, but there was a broomstick that we needed to hit something with in order to
just smack it.
Well,
It
we
did
couldn't
work.
smack the filter wheel with the broomstick,
No.
but
Or you could take the filter wheel and fling it, and maybe it would. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just back. I'm still on the frisbee. I'm stuck.
well, frisbee's good, and I have to say, Jesse, I think we should give honorable mention to what you put in chat as well.
Mhm.
Which
The
one?
laser lights.
Pink Floyd laser show. Shine lights through them onto the dome. It'll be a great time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And
But
Rainy
actually,
night
we do have some.
activity.
Yeah, exactly. The old filters, this we can actually do with. So if you have really old filters that you don't need anymore, that aren't optical quality and aren't worth anything, they can still be used to make beautiful light shows. Maybe not astronomically accurate light shows, but they would still be fun. Very, very good honorable mention. And I have to say, I would love to get a Pink Floyd laser show going in the domes. That would be really fun. All right, so we have one more challenge item, and this one is going to be extra difficult because we have it only on video. So let me go ahead and pin. So Zach is all set up. So I'm going to go ahead and spotlight. All
That
right.
is a mess of wires.
This is
gonna
the
say.
video-only clue. This device is extremely difficult to give audio clues on. It makes no sound. This device is known to be fine. It's newish and has a good tracking kind. The only hints are visual, so let some guesses fly. What is it?
The plug
That's-
matrix.
That's where when you need to eject from the observatory, that's where you climb in and you back down, and then it's almost like a rocket. I don't know if it can make it to the moon or not, but it can certainly get you away from the observatory.
Escape hatch.
Yeah.
It's actually where we bury observers who break things.
Well, I'm glad that wasn't around when I broke the thing.
My filter.
Uh,
It does look like Dave from 2001 is going to pull this off and start. So I'm
It
listening
totally
for
does.
the audio clue. Would have been Hal singing
Yeah.
Daisy. Yeah.
Well, there can't be any audio clue because the only clue I
Yeah.
can give you is it makes absolutely no sound whatsoever.
is
Has
it the
been
new
referred to as
telescope?
the jaws of the sky, sort of stealthily sneaking up on astronomers.
Is it the new telescope?
It is, Julie, you've got it.
Yeah.
It is the 1 meter. So Zach, feel free to pan out a little bit. There we
so
go.
pretty.
You were looking down the belly of the beast.
Ooh.
Excellent. And of course, what does it do? It would be easier to list what it can't do. So does anyone have any favorite 1 meter, I suppose, capabilities?
Looking up.
Looking up. Of course, looking
Moving
up at ease.
silently.
Yes.
You can turn it into a really, really good slingshot if you attach rubber things to the either end of the tube and you pull back and you just let it fly. You're high up, you can shoot things really far. It's really good.
You'd have to remove the secondary mirror.
Obviously. Yeah.
Did I say this is why we let him go? I mean,
And it is a very good complex task that you could probably do. I think my favorite is tracking things that move at speeds that are very different from stars. So this is something that we can do with asteroids, with comets, and of course, I'll just give a little bit of a advertisement for the image, the video, I should say, the video footage that we've taken of the James Webb Space Telescope going around its orbit in L2, which everyone can find on our website, right next to the fundraiser button. So actually, this is the wrap for the game. I am going to accord all players 10 points for excellent answers and excellent complexity. Our amazing observatory crew, please go back inside where it is warm, and feel free to start packing up. The online treasure hunt is almost at an end, so I'm just going to grab that and put the green share over. There we go. So 10 points to all participants, and excellent complex astronomy activities. And I will go ahead and just remind everyone that thank you for joining the Allan I Carswell Observatory special fundraiser event. This is a special fundraiser episode, and of course, let me just go ahead and make sure that our screen share is back to normal. And there we go. Okay, it is. All right. So why support the Allan I Carswell Observatory? We don't only do silly things, we actually do a lot of research observing as well. And of course, very, very large public events. In this year of 2024, we had a solar eclipse extravaganza, which featured in-person observing and astronomers traveling out to all corners of Ontario. And of course, this particular fundraiser event, you will only find running throughout this year until January 5th. And so if you want to win any of the amazing raffles I've been talking about, the personal tour for yourself and 5 of your invited friends, the assisted and the supported observing run. Those are 2 different raffles that you can win. And of course, there's the one-time only super special raffle for the swag raffle, which includes the book Daydreaming in the Solar System by 2 of our members today, Dr. John Mars and Jesse Rogerson. So if you want to win all of those great things, all of that is over on the observatory page under the fundraiser area, yorku.ca/science/observatory, and just click on the fundraiser. So of course, we have a great set of games tonight. It's been really, really fun seeing everyone challenge the observatory treasure hunt online, and great answers from everybody going. So we have next up, after the reminder, we have another game that we've actually come up with that I thought would be very, very fun to tackle. This one is a little different. So this is actually called One Step Astronomy Challenge. And what we were going to do is just go in order. And I think we'll actually just remove Jesse because he probably won't be able to join for the rest of the episode. So there we go. Now it's an astronomically accurate ordering system. So the One Step Astronomy Challenge is a game we've been playing at the observatory while we go on tours. So if you're running a tour, oftentimes you'll find that you have a minute or 2 to wait while the next tour group goes up. So what better thing to do than actually to run a small astronomy game? And in astronomy, I like to think about how everything is sort of connected to astronomy. You can't do astronomy without physics and math, and you can't do astronomy without optics and engineering and data science and chemistry and biology and geology. And pretty soon you'll find out you're doing everything in astronomy. So what better challenge than to try to connect anything to astronomy? The One Step Astronomy Challenge is basically to find a thing and pass it on, and to make that leap in one step, if you can, to astronomy. So we actually did get to practice this a little bit earlier with our crew, so just a fair caveat for YouTube. Now, if I was to go an example, I might start off with the one that I've been using, which is if I was to say cobbler. A cobbler is a person who works on shoes. So my one step to astronomy might be the footstep on the moon. Now, what makes this a game is I have to give something back. I have to then say something back after answering. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's see, what shall I say? I'll say hurricanes to the first person on our list, Dr. John. Are you here?
I'm here. I'm trying to think.
All right. So if you've got one, I can we can make an extra step, or maybe you can take a 2-step if you need.
Well, you know what? I feel like maybe I need an example here because this is a game that's completely new to me.
All right. So let's go ahead
You want me to
and
jump
I'll
in?
pick. Yes, let's go ahead and jump in, Paul.
Okay, so hurricane was your clue, and I'm going to say that's a lot of wind, and therefore the planet Neptune.
Excellent. And what do you pass
And
back?
now you want, I'm going to pass back clouds.
Clouds goes to Julie.
Okay. Well, that one's kind of a softball, I would have to say. Thank you, Paul.
I'm a nice guy.
Because I mean, Venus, there's never a sunny day on Venus. It's always cloudy. And I am going to go with I don't know, calendar.
Calendar. Excellent. So calendar, we'll skip John just for this round and go to Mary. Calendar to you, Mary.
Okay. Oh, unmute. Calendar. Well, calendar probably relates to seasons, so maybe we're talking about the solstice, which is coming up in a few days.
Very good. So you've got to solstice in one step.
Return volley.
and what could you think of to return to us?
What can I think of you to tune in? Oh God, brain freezing.
Literally anything.
I was thinking big holes in the ground, but that's probably a little bit of a softball.
No.
You could say gopher holes, because those are specific items. All right, so to Kirsten.
Gopher holes. I'm trying to think if there's any astronomical pests that I can think of. Astronomical pests, things that get in the way. Light pollution.
Yes.
How's that? I know I didn't go with the softball. Okay, light pollution. My next one. I can just do anything.
Yep.
Velis marinaris.
Well, that's already an astronomical object.
Oh, sorry. Has to be not marinara sauce.
Okay. Well, marinara sauce to Velis marinaris would get you there very, very fast.
Well,
go,
yeah,
John.
I just can't think of anything
John.
else.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and say volcanoes to John.
Oh, nice.
Oh my, volcanoes takes us back to Mars with Olympus Mons, I think. Also, entertainingly, the first version of the book actually autocorrect changed everything to the tomato version of Velis marinaris.
I think that's why I made the link in my head. I misunderstood the game and made that link. Yeah, not sure why I misunderstood. Right.
All right, excellent. Do you have one to pass back, John?
Sure, I can send one along. Ice.
Ice. Well, we'll go in order then, and this will go back to Mary-Helen. Mary, over to you. Ice.
Ice. I would have to think Callisto, which is like a giant ice cube.
Excellent. And you got one to pass back?
I would probably thinking a little bit along those lines. I was thinking planetary pool balls. There's a few
pool balls.
Like a pool ball. Okay.
Well, like on the pool table.
Yeah. Pool
Right?
table, pool balls. Yeah. So that's the non-astronomical object, and now we have to get it to
Right.
one-step astronomy.
How
So
about,
that Kirsten.
yeah, I was going to say just planetary formation and the collisions, early collisions.
Yeah. Very good.
Okay.
Grecian.
Elastic band.
Elastic band to Paul.
Sorry, Paul.
That's okay. Elastic bands, coronal mass ejections when those elastic bands break, and
Excellent.
we have
Excellent.
that phenomenal amount of energy sweeping out towards the Earth and imperiling all of our computer systems. How's that?
And
Oh,
that
making
work?
pretty aurora.
Pretty
Or
aurora,
or is it a slingshot when we're moving our probes around the planets? Since you're using your elastic band in your slingshot.
That's
It
true,
could also
but
be.
I was thinking pool balls works well for that. Planetary billiards, yeah. Okay, so my response is going to be desktop.
Desktop.
Julie.
Like computer desktop
Julie.
or desktop. Like furniture or computer desktop.
Sure, whichever you prefer. I give you
okay.
flexibility.
Okay, well, computers are used in a lot of astronomy, like to control the 1 meter telescope at the Allan I Carswell Observatory.
Indeed, indeed. I approve of this answer. All right. Does anyone have a last one that they would like to throw back out there for someone to get?
I do have one.
Go for it.
I'm going to say Sudbury.
Sudbury.
Impact basin.
Yay!
Yay!
Says the rock doc.
That's the picture I have on my phone.
I recognized it too.
Yeah, if I look over this way, you can see Sudbury Basin. That's actually the impact crater. So it's kind of gotten squished by plate tectonics, but it was round at one point.
A very long time ago.
So
excellent, excellent.
My favorite impact crater.
That's a nice impact crater.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does anyone else have one that they want to connect to astronomy in 1 step or less? I don't know how you do less than 1 step. That's the game for next year.
1 step or less.
Half a step.
All right. Well, there are things, I think if it's less than 1 step, you've just listed an astronomical fact. And that would be the difference. I will go ahead and give honorable mention to Paul's hat, which he's not wearing in this video, but his famous Australian sunblocking hat. And I think that would be a great object to 1 step connect to astronomy. Do you wanna try, Paul?
Sure. Well, let us go with beanie.
Yeah, beanie. And would it go 1 step to
Throw that out there,
astronomy?
beanie.
Goes 1 step to astronomy because you're wearing one, Elena.
I was thinking more of the
Julie,
spacesuit helmets, right? Are also hats. So
Yeah.
if you had a space helmet, it could also be a hat.
or our
It'd be like
favorite
a
Martian on Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Take me to
I
your
have-
leader. Yes.
I was thinking one of the shielding things on a satellite, to keep the temperature regulated.
Excellent. Yes. Sun shields. It's a sun shield.
Is that what they're called? Okay. Yeah.
Maybe we should rename the hat.
Maybe.
Anyways,
I mean, that canvas sack, is it still being used to cover the end of the 60 centimeter?
it was lost and destroyed in the floods, unfortunately.
Oh,
The canvas sack had
there's no more.
severe structural problems and is no longer in use.
You want to know the history of where that canvas sack came from?
Absolutely.
Yes.
It was a renegade from the McGraw-Hill Observatory on Kitt Peak when I was one of the support astronomers there back in 1985.
It's better than the Lowell Observatory's toilet flap that used to cover the end of the telescope there. It looked like a toilet seat that went up and down.
It's a definite improvement. I agree with that, Kristen.
I don't know if it was an actual toilet seat, but it looked like one. I mean, lid, toilet seat. You know what I mean.
I do.
All right. So we could talk about space toilets, or we could go to the
They are
next
interesting.
section of the broadcast, where once again we remind everyone to please take note of the Allan I Carswell Observatory fundraiser. That's the whole reason for the season. It's the reason for this broadcast. And we are running a special fundraiser just this winter only. This is the only time you'll hear from us, other than the regular donate button on the website. And this is the only time you'll be able to win one of our 3 amazing raffles: our private observatory tour, our observing, and of course our special swag raffle, which features amazing items, including of course, and we'll just say it again, the lovely Daydreaming in the Solar System book by, of course, our very own Dr. John Moores and Jesse Rogerson. So all of these reasons are wonderful things that you can go ahead and support the observatory. We have a whole slew of exciting things to do with potentially getting extra funds into the observatory, including repairs, refurbishments, bookcases, an H-alpha filter, and all kinds of other great stuff. If you want to find out more, it's on that same website, yorku.ca/science/observatory, running through January 5th. After that, there will be no more raffles. So we have one more tiny event planned for this evening, a chance to win points. Oh, by the way, everybody got 10 points last round because you all had very good answers. So the final clue on our trio of astronomy games is, of course, to bring back Astronomicers. And this is one that we've been having a lot of fun with over at the observatory for quite some time now. And if you haven't played Astronomicers before, we're actually going to do just a little bit of a rules recap. So Astronomicers is a game that, again, is played with words. So it's something we don't need a lot of visuals for, so it makes it a little bit easier than some. The game rules are that someone on here is going to get a word that they have to describe, and they can't use a whole slew of common words. So the trick is to see if someone can describe an object from astronomy without using any common descriptors. So how strange of a description can you make? For example, I might say that you have to describe the space station Mir without using the words Russian, orbiting, or astronaut. And so I would have to say that that thing that used to be up there going around Earth, that's not there anymore, that people used to go into, and see if someone could get it. And if someone does guess it within about 30 seconds, that means that we both win. And if you can't guess it, then you need to try to make more descriptions. So just keep describing, see what kind of hole you can dig yourself into, and hopefully we'll be able to pass these around. So we have a few of them being passed around at the moment to our amazing crew. And of course, we'll be playing, and again, in no particular order, I set this up earlier. We have John, Mary, Kirsten, Paul, and Julie playing the Astronomicers 2024 challenge. So Paul, I did send you one in advance. So I was wondering if you might like to try to start off with your first Astronomicer object.
Right. So the first one?
Yeah, and everyone else. So Mary-Helen, Julie, Kirsten, and John, please try to guess and see what he's talking about.
I'm just trying to make sure that I remember the words that I'm not allowed to take.
Yeah, and try to the extra
all
bonus points for being extremely artistic in your description.
Uh-oh.
I was the biggest thing going for the longest time until Ridley. And I just knew how to get it done. I was right there at the tail end of the object in question. But, you know, I was just beyond belief. I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and I just made it all the way to where I needed to go. There was nothing that could surpass what I was able to do. And as I said, I was the kingpin for the longest time. I gave that object all of its enormous amount of power, and there was just nothing that anybody else could do about it, ever, ever, ever. And I am so proud of that. I took people to the moon. Do I really have to carry on?
We have to talk about the Saturn V.
Saturn V? Oh, Kirsten said it first.
Very nearly, but I was at the tail end of what you've just said. And it was me that really got things going.
Bell? The engine. Rocket engine.
Do you want it to be more specific than that? A, B, C, D, E. What comes after E?
The F type? No.
Maybe that was a little bit too specific.
Fuel?
I don't know what else I can say.
Stage? F? Is it F stage? I don't know the stages of the rocket.
You're right on the track. The very tail, the very bottom of the vehicle that we're talking about here. You got the letter, and just think of the number before 2.
F1.
Yay!
I would have gone with
It took some doing.
No, race cars. Like, come on, F1.
Look, I just work with it, okay? She gave it to me. The F1
And they're not
rocket
all
engine of the Saturn
equally,
V.
yeah.
Esoteric?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty esoteric. Yeah.
That's rather specific.
As I said, I only work with what I'm given.
You did very well. I almost feel like I know the F1 rocket now. It's very braggy.
Yeah.
How long has it been since a Saturn V rocket was used? What, 50 years at this point?
1972?
1973.
73.
50 odd
Wow.
years
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Lord.
Skylab. Yeah, I know.
Oh,
But I wasn't.
wow.
There was so
I'm giving you all the points because it was a very passionate description.
That was very passionate.
Yeah, it was very good.
Love
Like
it.
I said, I feel like I know the F1 rocket now. Yeah.
All right. So now,
Okay.
to go somewhat in order, we started with Paul. So Julie, that would make
Okay.
you next. You have a secret message.
I got the secret message. I'm ready.
All right.
Okay. This is an event that happens that involves the really bright thing in the
A
sky.
solar eclipse.
It's a specific kind of that.
Total
Solar
solar
eclipse?
eclipse?
The other one.
Total
A
lunar
pen-
eclipse.
A partial solar eclipse.
An-
The
an
other
annular-
one.
an
Yes.
annular solar eclipse.
An annular solar eclipse, like a penumbral solar eclipse.
By elimination, we were successful.
Well, the process of elimination is very powerful.
Yes.
And
I
you
couldn't
were
have done it without you, Kirsten.
excellent. Excellent. So we have a great success. Now the next challenge one in just as I say, going in no particular order. Mary, I have sent you the word and then I should say the 2 words that you're supposed to get them to guess, and a set of things you're not allowed to say.
Okay, so this is okay. I'll quote Bugs Bunny. There ain't no place like a hole in the ground. And certainly at least one of the Mars rovers ended up driving into one of
crater?
these large holes.
Mhm.
Eagle crater?
Well,
An impact crater?
yes.
Oh,
very good.
Extra points. You got the exact word. All right, so this
I
is
was sitting there
definitely
thinking, I do not remember the names of the craters where the rovers.
Oh, we're just looking for
Good for
generally
you, Paul.
impact crater.
this is actually a first. We got someone to get the exact complete answer as it was supposed to be delivered. So the full correct answer was impact
Without
crater.
going
So
through the alphabet
um,
first.
2 bonus points for everyone involved. All right, so next up, Kirsten, you have a secret 2-word thing, and a bunch of things you're not allowed to say about it.
Okay. Okay. I live towards the edge of the solar system. Formed there because there's certain substances that could come out of the planetary nebula, the protoplanetary nebula, and could only really exist and start coming out of that hot mess at a distance from the sun
Oort cloud?
because of the temperature, really big. You know, if you tried to land on me, you just kind of sink in.
Talking about gas giants?
Yeah, similar to that.
We're
A lot
trying
of
to look for a specific thing
it's-
here, I think.
The
yeah,
planet Neptune.
Like Kuiper Belt
is one of them.
The planet gas giants.
Well, that's what I would call
Ice
this, but
giant?
because they're yeah, there you go.
The ice
It's
giant.
ice
Okay.
giant.
Ice
yeah,
giant!
yeah.
Woo, actual term gotten. We should definitely give extra points for the full actual term appearing
I
in the
agree.
answer.
Yeah, because that was hard. Like I don't use yeah, that term is that's a very specific one. Yeah. I had
Like
to think back
F1.
to my
Yeah.
planetary creation stuff.
I suppose, yes, I will admit they're not all equally fair. So if anyone would like to write one back to me, you're feel free. And I will have to do
That's
that
all
one.
right. That's all right.
So Paul, next up is you, and I believe you have a second
I do.
astronomiker.
Absolutely. It's raining, it's pouring, but you know, it's a vacuum out there. So that really does actually have no real clue why anybody would think to land in this particular area. But you know, the weather is just uncompromising. In fact, the weather is non-existent, but that doesn't change the fact that the area that we have landed
The
on
sea of
is
storms.
just think a little bit larger than the word sea, but you're on exactly the right
The ocean
track.
of storms. I don't know the Latin words.
Yes,
Mare stormius.
I
Oceanus
think that,
Procellarum.
yeah,
Is that what Procellarum means? I thought Procellarum was an impact crater.
Well, it might be too, but I'm pretty sure Oceanus Procellarum is the ocean of storms too.
and that was the specific keyword we were going for.
Yes.
Procellarum, yeah.
So
From
again,
Solara?
everyone is getting much better at this game the more that we do it.
I don't know.
All right. You don't know. Well, we're going to have one more to try out. So, Julie, I believe you're
Yes.
next.
I am
You
ready.
have a term in all caps, actually, and
my.
a bunch of things you're not allowed to say to describe it.
Okay. This is a word for a possible category of the thing in our solar system that everyone gets so worked up that it got kicked out.
Dwarf planet?
Pluto, dwarf
Pluto.
planet. Yeah.
Or
It's-
Plutoids.
You're getting closer.
trans-Neptunian
Kirsten.
objects.
It's one word. The end of it is like the Italian suffix for a thing that is small.
Plutotina?
Plutonis?
So Plutonans?
I think someone said it.
Plutotina.
Nope,
I think someone
almost.
said Plutini, which would be the plural, is Plutino.
Or something you drink. one or the other.
I know its friend
Plutinos.
Martini.
Plutino.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it, Kristen. Although a plutini sounds amazing.
I think
that would
we
be a
should
good
probably
drink.
develop one for the next
sounds
time.
like something you drink while you're sitting on a hot
Absolutely.
deck somewhere in the summer.
At a
Or a
space-themed
cold-
bar.
A space-themed bar.
Liquid
Welcome to the
nitrogen.
restaurant at the end of the universe.
Yeah,
Yes.
precisely.
Perfect.
42 to
Yeah.
you too.
Or at least a restaurant at the end of the solar system. You can start small.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think that we have had a whole series of winners off of the Astronomicers off of the Astronomicers game, I should say. And we could probably keep playing this for quite a while, and you'd all get very, very good at it. And then I wouldn't be able to ask you back and confuse you as much anymore. So we have our final funding reminder for this evening, actually. Thank you everyone for joining us. We have been running a special fundraiser episode of the TeleTube here on a Wednesday on December 18th. The fundraiser only goes until January 5th, 2025. So if you want to enter the fabulous raffles, please see that same website we've been telling you all night, yourq.ca/science/observatory. And just to round off our wonderful panel, I'm going to have our guests sign off with their favorite Allan I Carswell Observatory fun fact or piece of information. And in no particular order, going in sort of from left to right, Mary-Helen.
Oh, geez, fun fact. That's an interesting. Yeah, that's going back a way. I still remember it's like I said, using a broomstick to in the old dome when it would get stuck on a cold night, and here are the poor undergrad students calling Paul in the middle of the night, going, "How do we close the dome?" And it involved using a broomstick to get it unstuck.
Well, we do still have the broom, but the domes have been replaced. That's a wonderful, fun one to share. And now, Kirsten.
The first time I visited, Paul described how they were trying to get just the projector part of a Starlab planetarium, which is a blow-up planetarium, because on rainy nights, they just wanted to use the inside of a dome as a planetarium. I don't know if you ever did do that, but it's a phenomenal idea.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're trying to bring that back, actually. So fingers and toes crossed.
I will help.
And your dome is a lot darker than ours were.
So
you should be successful.
Well, that's a good lead in because Paul, you're next.
One of the most interesting aspects of the observatory is that we started out with a 30 centimeter that was of the same ilk as the 60 centimeter telescope. So long before the 40, long before the 1 meter, there was the 30 centimeter telescope, and its top speed, slewing speed, is equivalent to our setting speed on the 60. It took us forever to get from one side of the sky to the other.
Excellent. And of course, now we have the other safety condition happening, which is the 1 meter going so incredibly fast, we had to reduce its speed 3 times so that its chance of actually destroying something it collided was less. So
or
the 1
hitting
meter
somebody and killing them.
That was the other thing we were worried about. Yes, so that anything that it collides with at that speed would have had a problem. So it has had its speed reduced several times.
Fantastic murder mystery fodder here. Anybody who wants to write one, you can just see kill someone with a slewing telescope.
The murder weapon was the broomstick.
It is robotic now, so
yeah, even better. I'm thinking of weird games of Clue in the observatory with the broomstick.
Yeah.
Well,
Professor
actually, yeah.
Peach
So
or whatever.
we should do a Clue episode based on the observatory in Dome's treasure hunt. That would be perfect.
Yeah.
Let's do
lots of ways of killing people. Sorry, I'm going off track.
And you're being recorded too. I mean, really.
We are live on YouTube, and just for the record, I would
sorry.
like to point out that the Allan I Carswell Observatory does not plan to actually kill anyone. In fact, we try very, very hard to make sure that that will never happen
That's not
anywhere near the observatory whatsoever. Now we're sharing favorite memories, which definitely do not include hazardous things. Julie, last but not least, do you have a favorite that you'd like to share?
I mean, I have so many, but I would say that probably the most important for me is all the people that I met through the observatory, all the friends that I made, people that I'm still in touch with 20 years later, despite the fact that some of them are like in Taiwan and in Germany and all over the world. And we still, you know, whether it's just like a keeping in touch through social media or like getting together on Zoom or whatever to have like chats a few times a year and playing games or whatever. It's just so many amazing people worked there with me, and it's just an amazing place run by amazing people.
It's a magical place. No, it's an astronomical place. Even better.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Well, on that note, I would like to thank all of our wonderful guests this evening for being game for all kinds of games and, of course, helping with our fundraiser event. All of our guests, please feel free to go ahead and turn off your cameras and your audio, and we'll head out for this evening. It is too cloudy to go observing. Thanks everyone for joining us. You have all been listening to the Allan I Carswell Observatory's special fundraising TeleTube broadcast. We are, of course, running the fundraiser all the way until the January 5th of 2025. So if you'd like to enter any of the raffles, you can always do so until January 5th over on yorku.ca/science/observatory. Thanks to all of our special guests for joining us. And of course, thanks to all of our observatory crew who braved the cold and helped us run the online treasure hunt for the first time ever. Make sure to leave any comments or questions in the comment section of this video. And of course, you can talk to us in chat if you'd like. As a reminder, this program and all of our programs are actually free. So not only is it great to support that fundraiser, but it helps us run more free events. The donations and the fundraiser can all be found over on yorku.ca/science/observatory. We're also, of course, on Instagram and Facebook at YorkU Observatory or Allan I Carswell Obs. And you can find that same website for show notes, content, and updates. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Clear skies and have a good night.